Hey guys, it's Kirby here. Today I'm bringing you on a day trip to Hiroshima. We used our 7-day JR pass to go from Osaka to Hiroshima, and even though it took about an hour and a half to get there one way, it was definitely worth going. And when we were on the bullet train, also known as the Shinkansen, we had to get the famous bento boxes that people eat when riding bullet trains. My hubby even got a bento box in the shape of a plastic Shinkansen toy. The food wasn't bad, but he mainly got it for the toy and to kind of bring it home as a souvenir. I, on the other hand, got this really cool clam and scallop bento box. It was seriously packed full of ingredients. I was shocked at the amount that was given, considering it wasn't that expensive. Okay, seriously, look at the amount of scallops and clams there are. There were so many teeny tiny clams, and even though they were small, it was packed full of flavor. Overall, I would totally recommend getting this particular bento box if you're planning to ride the Shinkansen. Eating these gorgeously crafted bento boxes on the train may seem like the norm for businessmen and people living in Japan, but honestly, it's such a cool experience for tourists like you and me. So we chose a really bad day to visit Hiroshima because it was pouring rain the entire day. But nevertheless, our first stop was Hiroshima Castle. It is a historic landmark that was constructed in the 16th century but was destroyed by the atomic bomb. Thankfully, it was meticulously reconstructed to its former glory, and now tourists are able to walk through the castle and take a journey through this wonderful museum. Hiroshima Castle holds immense culture and historical significance, and it was a symbol of power and authority during the samurai era. Its reconstruction signifies the city's determination to preserve its heritage, even in the face of tragedy. And as a visitor, it was very interesting to see all of the artifacts from Hiroshima's history, and it really provided me with a deeper understanding of the city's evolution. Overall, if you're planning a trip to Hiroshima or you're very interested in Hiroshima's history, this castle is not to be missed. You can also go all the way up to the top and get a really cool viewpoint to see the city from a completely different angle. Okay, and while we're in Hiroshima, we cannot forget about Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki. We were on the hunt for this tiny little food court area that serves only Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki, and we found it. So what sets the Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki apart from, let's say, the Osaka-style or even Tokyo-style? It is the layering technique. So instead of mixing the ingredients all together, they're stacked one by one, creating a delicious tower of flavors. My hubby got the oyster okonomiyaki and I got the traditional one with the egg on top. The coolest thing about okonomiyaki, in my opinion, is that it gets made right in front of you. And when it's done, it also stays on the hot plate, so it stays warm the entire time. You can see here that she's assembling the layers one by one, starting out with a thin layer of batter and then a mountain of cabbage, some pork slices, a couple more like toppings like green onions and bean sprouts, and then later she's going to put a heaping helping of noodles, one more layer of that batter, and then all of the customizable toppings. So I had no clue how big the okonomiyaki was going to be, so me and my hubby each got one individually. And when I looked around, everybody else was sharing between like 2 or 3 people. So this clearly was my lunch and more for the day. But as you can see, his oyster one looked so good and they gave him so many large oysters. His was only about $12.40 USD, which is crazy. Definitely put Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki on your list when you come because it truly is unlike anything else. It's healthy, packed full of veggies, which you'll need while traveling anyways, and you basically get a meal and a show. Another landmark you must visit is the Atomic Bomb Dome. It was the only standing structure that survived the atomic bomb on August 6, 1945. Through the efforts of many people, including those of the city of Hiroshima, it has been preserved in the same state as immediately after the bombing. Not only is it a stark and powerful symbol of the most destructive force ever created by humankind, it also expresses the hope for world peace and the ultimate elimination of all nuclear weapons. Just steps away from the atomic bomb dome lies the Peace Memorial Park, Children's Peace Monument, the Flame of Peace, and also other memorials honoring the lives lost. We went to visit the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, and even though it was pouring rain that day, there were actually a lot of people all waiting to get in. You can kind of actually see that there's such a long line up there, and we waited a good maybe 20 to 30 minutes before we could even get inside. And while we were inside, it was packed. I would also recommend paying a little extra to get the audio tour so you can hear the entire story and understand everything in your language. There was so much here, from artifacts to first-hand stories to visual simulations. It's just a lot to take in, and if you don't read Japanese, you might miss a lot of it. And this is a simulation of exactly where the atomic bomb was dropped and what the immediate effects look like. In the end, Hiroshima was a day of learning, understanding, and it is a worthwhile visit in my opinion, and worth the train ride from Osaka. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're enjoying my Japan travel and food videos, please subscribe, leave me a comment below, or give this video a thumbs up. It will drastically help my channel out. Thank you, and see you next time!